evening, everybody, and welcome back to Robot Wars Reborn Cup Series 1. Last week, we kicked off the series with a very wonderful and very stacked Heat A. We can't wait for the grand final in a few episodes, but now it's time for the weaker of the heats, Heat B. A heat that, quite frankly, is fairly open, with some bots that could struggle against certain opponents, but it all depends on those first round results. And to get right into the action, we're going to go to Plunderbird to get us started with Heat B's competitors and the first round of fighting. Thank you, Robot. Pleasure to be here, or should I say, it is a dreadful day to be here. I really should have called in sick, because today is probably going to be the worst set of fights we've ever seen on this channel. It's the very weak Heat B. I'm not really looking forward to this. Everything I say is normally the opposite of what I say. So why don't we just, get rid of me and show up the graphic so we can get rid of these fights as soon as possible. And here is that horrible heat that many people have most likely been dreading. I guess if you want to have a strong heat, you gotta have a weak heat, and that's exactly what we have here with the likes of Robot the Bruce, who doesn't have a weapon, Gabriel, who can't even drive, Detour, who's, well, Detour, and Dominator 2, who, well, he doesn't really look like a very good bot, does he? It's a very open field, maybe besides Firestorm, who's got a couple third-place finishes under his belt in real life, and Fluffy, who we know has a dangerous horizontal spinner. I think besides that, that could be the heat final, but we got some fights to do to actually, see. Fights aren't won on paper, they're won in the box. So let's get to fight one.
From Grove in Oxfordshire, Gabriel.
Jesus, he couldn't even get to the starting spot. Well, here's Gabriel, brought to you by Doodle. He looks very accurate, and is so accurate that, of course, he's not going to be able to win a fight. Look at him. He can barely drive, he can barely hit. He's going out in the first round. Get a good look at him while you can, because he won't be here for long.
From Ipswich, Robot the Bruce.
Not many competitors in this competition have as bad of a chance at winning one fight as Gabriel, but Robot the Bruce isn't most robots. No weapon, no chance. Let's just get this fight done with, please.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
This is probably one of the fights to watch of the season because of how boring and terrible it's going to be. As you can see, Gabriel struggling already to try and drive, and the floor flipper says, F you, Gabriel. Robot the Bruce now trying to move in. And Gabriel already, you see the problems because he cannot drive at all. He's just got to hope that Robot the Bruce is in the firing line of that overhead swinging blade. It won't matter because Robot the Bruce has armor on top for whatever reason. I think some of the little rubber feet on Gabriel are starting to fall off as Robot the Bruce moves in, and he takes a huge chunk of Gabriel. It looks like he's removed the whole wheel, but apparently not. There are now just floating rubber pieces on Gabriel's side. Doodle, you got some explaining to do. What's happening? How is your Gabriel machine not dragging around, spinning in circles on the ground? Robot the Bruce has activated the pit release. It looks like Gabriel will be sacrificed any second now. There he goes, with one big shove into the pit, and Robot the Bruce has won the joke fight of all time.
Cease.
Not really surprised to see that Gabriel was out in the first round and that Robot the Bruce was able to take care of him easily, but what is still surprising, Robot the Bruce is in the second round. He'll either face 259 or Firestorm. I think both bots have a shot to beat him, but we still gotta find out who he's gonna face. So let's go do it.
From Charlton in Essex, 259.
A robot that will need a rebuild in the future, but for now 259 comes in with his vertical disc. He's got a small body, it's pretty quick, but also not very protected by not so good armor, and he doesn't have a shriek neck. A lot of wrong things going for this robot. Can he survive?
From Durham, Firestorm.
A bot that always shows promise but ends up finishing third, Firestorm sports a front hinge flipper that isn't the most effective, but perhaps his low reg and power will be a good backup.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1.
I'll tell you what, this fight could be over in a matter of seconds if Firestorm is able to get under 259 quickly.
See how long it takes for both bots to feel each other out. 259 knows he's got to fight defensively and keep that flipper at bay like he is doing there. He's decided to go for the pit release. Will that come back to bite him later on? Because that gives Firestorm something to aim for. A lot of hazards, though, at the disposal of both robots. Pit just one of many. Firestorm so far struggling to find an opening around 259. Is it bad offense on his part or good defense from 259? We're not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. 259, though, is doing a great job of sneaking the Firestorm sides, getting a few shavings, and then escaping before getting in the flipper's range. Sure enough, Firestorm, even with the head-on approach, he can't get under 259, who has better ground clearance than we thought he did. Firestorm trying to at least get him bouncing off the ground by flailing the flipper into 259's weapon. It's not working. Now he tries to pin him against the wall, but again it's not working. Firestorm's in trouble here. He can't seem to get underneath. He's gonna have to think of some sort of plan B, if he has one. He was banking on the fact that he could get underneath and one slight toss would end the fight, but now he really is gonna have to look to the arena hazards. He's got a little over a minute to think of something and think of something fast. 259 doing a good job, though, of defending. Oh, look at that! The flipper's off! 259 has got the flipper! I was just thinking about how he needed to actually do some offense to score points with the judges, and well, there you go! He's done it! And now Firestorm down to just a wedge. He knows he's going to lose this unless he gets 259 in the pit or on the floor flipper and out of the arena. He's trying to shove him towards the pit. Only could get him to the corner patrol zone, the CPZ. 30 seconds left. 259 might pull off a huge upset here as he's pushed onto the flames. Firestorm now smoking. It's getting even worse for him now. Goodness me, what a performance this is from 259. And with 10 seconds left, it looks like he's done it. He's far away from the pit. What's happened here? The batteries are running low on the computer. We haven't seen this since the first round of BattleBots Reborn Cup. Horribly unprepared, Barangoat. What are you doing? Well, we're back at it. 6 more seconds in the fight. And 259 has put off a great result.
Cease.
And he's through to the next round. Unbelievable. What a result for 259. He's taken out Firestorm, who was expected to cruise through this heat. And instead, Robot the Bruce and 259 will meet up. Is that a fight that Robot the Bruce could win? Well, we'll have to find out later in this episode. And we'll also find out who else will be in the second round of Heat B when we return. Welcome back to Robot Wars Reborn Cup. We're halfway through the first round of Heat B, where we've seen Robot the Bruce and 259 book their place in the second round. 4 more bots will be looking to do the same, and we start with Fluffy versus Dominator 2.
From London, Fluffy.
Fluffy by name, but definitely not by nature. This machine with a horizontal blade is invertible, but very slow, which will be more impactful on his fights.
From Huntington, Dominator 2.
Not the best balance on this robot, but Dominator 2's axe does provide a lot of potency. Nearly went unbeaten in his recording episode. Original file was lost, and this is the replacement.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, we found out in the last fight that the fights are not won on paper, they're won in the box. And that's what Dominator 2 will be also looking to prove Very tough task here against Fluffy. This matchup is kind of in his favor. If he can wait for Fluffy's slow moving body to get over, he can time his shots better to get that weapon motor, as you see him trying, but he's taking a lot of damage in the process. Fluffy at a turtle's pace trying to close down Dominator 2, with bots near the Pit of Oblivion. You can see the front body of Dominator 2 popping up a little bit every time he strikes with the hammer. And that's the problem with the build. There he goes, taking some shots. Now he's going for the wheel instead of the motor. Trying to take out his mobility Fluffy. I mean, it's already kind of half there with this horrible pace. But Dominator 2 with some very good shots. Fluffy, though, carving up that right side. And I don't even know if Dominator 2 has fully realized the extent of the damage until a hit like that comes along. He's going again for Fluffy. He's caused a lot of damage, but he's taken a lot as well.
Cease.
And there's the proof. It's Fluffy who wins the fight. Well, in this heat, Fluffy has one of the only moving weapons besides 259, and it's no surprise with Robot Arena 2 that Dominator 2 is defeated fairly quickly. One more fight to go, Detour and Plunderbird for the right to face Fluffy in the next round.
From Dublin, Detour.
Despite being a poor-looking recreation, Detour is an unbeaten robot, an average weapon that provides very good defense, but a small and light body that could pose him problems, and he cannot self-right.
From Alton in Hampshire, Plunderbird.
Another doodle recreation, this time of Plunderbird, the beak hammer robot. He's got very good ground clearance, but no Shremek should he need one. Wouldn't even matter.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So who will take on Fluffy in the next round of Heat B? One of these two robots will get it. Big size difference immediate between these two. And it's Detour getting underneath Plunderbird somehow and raising him up and flipping him onto his backside. Plunderbird, is he done? It could be end of Plunderbird already. Detour has gone and activated the pit release. And it looks like this is over already. Well, Detour didn't really need many openings. He took the only one that was presented to him in the first few seconds to finish Plunderbird off. He's knocked him back onto his wheels, but the result is already decided. I don't know why they're letting him fight on. Plunderbird counted out Detour in trying to get him in the pit, knocked him back onto his wheels. Plunderbird still trying to fight. Maybe he doesn't know he's counted out, or maybe I don't know that he wasn't counted out. Either way, Detour's underneath him again with a big pop and a big shove as he edges closer towards the pit and dumps Plunderbird in to finish off the final first round match in the heat. Why hasn't the smoke gone off? There it is. Well, that was weird,
Cease.
but Detour has won it. Well, Detour showing us why he is one of the 6 unbeaten Robot Wars bots in this tournament, taking out Plunderbird fairly quickly and easily, and it'll be he who fights Fluffy in the second round. Plenty more action in this episode, so don't go anywhere, but we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Robot Wars Reborn Cup Season 1 Heat B. We now know Heat B's Heat semi-finalists. They are Robot the Bruce, 259, Fluffy, and Detour. But only 2 can go to the Heat Final in Episode 6. And to find out who those robots are, we go over to Barangoat. Thank you, Barangoat. We are here again now for the second round of the Heat B fights, and it looks like we already know who's going to contest the grand final, but of course fights aren't won on paper, or in this case, a picture on my computer. They're won in the Robot Wars arena, so we're gonna have to go down to that, figure out who actually is in the grand final. I think we already know. Well, this is the kind of second round matchups you get when you're in such a weak heat. Robot the Bruce, Detour, 259, all of these robots that could have gone out in the first round had they had different draws with bots from the other heats. This is where we are. Let's get to Robot the Bruce versus 259 for the first spot in the Heat B final.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1.
I wonder how many people are rooting for Robot the Bruce. That'd be quite the feat if he was able to somehow get to the grand final. Leave your comments below. He doesn't have to worry about being flipped. He's got some defenses to cope with 259. He's just gotta find a way to keep that blade at bay. He's taking some early shots in the front there. And then he tips over by his own means. And just like that, this fight's gonna be over. 259 is off to the not the grand final, the Heat final. Apologies. Getting ahead of myself. And Robot the Bruce headed for the drop zone. And it'll be bowling balls that fall on him. An insulting defeat. He's even lost a wheel in the process. And that's the first use of the drop zone.
Cease.
And that's the end of the fight. We have our first Heat B finalist. And that is the end of the line for Robot the Bruce. He falls to 259, literally falling over in front of 259. And it's the latter who will be off to the Heat final, where he will wait to face either Fluffy or Detour. To find out who will take that second place, let's go take a look at the box.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
For a place in the Heat final against 259, that is what's up for grabs for these two. Fluffy knows he can cause a lot of damage with that horizontal spinner. Detour knows it's a game of defense, or maybe relentless attack like he's doing right now. He's trying to jam up that blade of Fluffy so that it can't get up to speed, and it's working all right. He's got a decent little flip there on Fluffy. He's flipped him over now. And another good flip from Detour. He's showing why he's an unbeaten robot. Not giving Fluffy a chance to breathe. But every now and again there's a little bit of time for that blade to get up to speed. How long will it be until Detour goes for the pit release? There's another beautiful little flip. This is quite the performance from Detour. But there goes one of the snowplows and an eye! Well, that was going to be my next question. How long can he hold up? He's only lasted about a minute before he started crumbling. But he carries on. Can't even see well with one eye. He's still got that one plow lifter, and he's doing a very good job of keeping Fluffy at bay. Fluffy too slow to get away from Detour, to be able to get the blade going, to get out of danger. Somebody must have hit the pit release because it's down, and Detour has lost his weapon. Well, there you go. We wondered how long he'd hold up. He's lasted about a minute and a half. But the pieces are starting to fall. And so are the hopes of Detour of advancing to the final. It was a matter of grinding it out for Fluffy. The longer the fight went on, you knew Detour would be in trouble. And sure enough, he's eyeless and weaponless. He's now got to hope he can win a pushing match to get Fluffy into the pit. Or will the judges maybe like the way he's controlled this fight? He might not even last to a judge's decision because there's some smoke. Fluffy moving in, trying to finish this to remove any doubt whatsoever. Detour holding for dear life. 20 seconds remaining. He's got to find a way to get Fluffy near and in the pit. Maybe the floor flipper would help him too. 10 seconds remaining. This one looks like it's going the distance. It still might not. Fluffy's a hit away from winning this outright. Is Detour going to hold on? It looks like he is. We're going to a decision. What a fight. Wow, what a fight that was. Everyone catch your breath before we announce this decision, because it's going to be a tough one here. Of course, the judges are looking at style, control, damage, and aggression. And both bots showed pieces of the puzzle that the judges liked. But in the end, they favored the damage category, and they've gone with Fluffy. He is through to the Heat Final, where he will face 259 for the third time on this channel. They had a rematch that Fluffy took 2-0 very recently, and they will contest Heat B. Will it be the same result, or will 259 find a way to win? Well, that'll be saved for episode 6.
Heat B is now almost 100% in the books, and for what was supposed to be the weak heat, it actually did not fail to entertain us. There were some very good results. We'll find out in episode 6 whether it's 259 or Fluffy, who recently had a rematch. We'll see who goes into the Heat Final, and if the loser did enough to get the wild card. But until then, we'll see you next week for Heat C. I am Gabriel, and have a good night.